This was the flashpoint in Castle Island, a narrow country road, a couple of yards wide, bounded by farmland and a building site. Itinerants are entitled by law to be here. There's no prohibition order against caravans. They have been using this road for years, and the present settlement is here for 5 months. 15 families at most on 35 yards of road. But one day recently, the itinerants were asked to split up and leave. A deputation called on them at the camp, and this, according to them, is what happened.
There were 6 men came up to stop them. They were about 10 minutes talking inside the mud, and they came up to the caravans then. And they asked us, what are we leaving? We asked them why. So they said that we should leave. That the man above us was denied and he was fit to go to that asylum. So we said we could do nothing about it, that we were ready to get camping sites. We didn't know how soon or how quick the camping sites would be got, but we were just lingering on. And we told them that the children was going to school and we couldn't leave. This other guy, this man, he started baiting inside the caravan with his hand. And he said if we hadn't gone again that night at 1 o'clock, that they put bullets in out through the caravans.
Guns, bullets, threats of violence. A new attitude in a town noted for goodwill to itinerants, and a distinct embarrassment to the Castle Island Itinerant Resettlement Committee working for their rehabilitation. The committee is pledged to housing, in time, in the parish, 5 itinerant families. Already 2 others have been housed. They are prepared to assume their responsibilities in a new movement to aid Kerry itinerants. So too, they say, are the people of Castle Island. Ironically, the talk of guns emerged from the committee's initial meeting. Retired Garda Michael Behan admits to having made a joke that's boomeranged.
I did say that it had reached the stage where the local people had decided, or were about to decide, to get them rid of them out of it by some other means, if they didn't go themselves. So they received us very favourably, and they said they would leave that day. We told them that it was in their own interest that they go, that the farmers were prepared to let them camp outside their houses if they scattered, and in 1s or 2s, but not more than 2 caravans together. So
but there is a very strong feeling against the Tinkers in Castle Island.
Very much so, but that is the result of an invasion of Tinkers from Galway and Mayo before Christmas. There is no animosity towards the local, what we term as Kerry Tinkers, or McCarthy's, O'Brien's, Coffey's, Quilligan's. None whatsoever.
But at the meeting at which you were present, when they were debating the itinerant problem here in Castle Island, I think you did mention guns.
There was a mention of gun when it was moved at the meeting that a selection of 7 or 8 men be selected to go to interview the Tinkers or coax them to leave the place. I said as a joke, they better bring guns, and if they haven't them, Mr. Hogan, the local firearms dealer who had already spoken on the matter, would give them guns, and that was treated as a joke at the meeting.
A joke perhaps, but it's had a side effect. Since then, one farmer sought a shotgun for what he terms protection. He was denied a licence by the Gardaí. This attitude is not typical of Castle Island, one of the best towns in Munster according to the itinerants. But they claim they're as much a part of the community as some people who might be objecting. How serious is the situation? Local feeling mounted before Christmas when 140 West of Ireland itinerants descended on Castle Island. Some of them were prosecuted for causing disturbances in the town. None of the itinerants now camped in Castle Island were involved, and they have agreed, in the interest of the town, to split up their convoy and move to various parts. Despite rumours, Mr. Willie Lyons, chairman of the Resettlement Committee, denies the situation is explosive.
It might develop into a serious situation if we didn't get the cooperation of the itinerants. But with the delegation that went to them yesterday morning, they have cooperated and they have distributed themselves in pairs to sites within half mile of the town where the children can still go to school. That's our primary object in getting the children educated. See? Number 1 anyway.
How do you relate this much ado about nothing to threats of guns and bullets and that?
Well, we had a meeting, see, last Tuesday night. A very good meeting, a lively meeting, I suppose, if we call it such. And some men stood up, I won't say on the spot at the moment, I'd say more or less in a loose kind of a way that there was plenty of guns in the locality. Well, I don't really think he meant what he said, you know. And unfortunately, this same gentleman, he was on the deputation that went to the itinerants for their cooperation, and he said perhaps if they didn't cooperate, that maybe there might be trouble and maybe there would be shots fired. Well, no, that situation doesn't obtain here at all. No question at all about it.